All right, I am back with a brand new DCEU update. All right, let's talk about the merger first, and then I'm going to talk about a lot of other things that have happened that are leading everyone to believe that the Snyderverse is definitely going to be restored. And I've got some interesting stuff to talk about in regards to Green Lantern and possibly having Ryan Reynolds come back and play Green Lantern again. And, I actually watched that movie last night, and it's way better than I remember it being when it first came out. So I wouldn't mind him coming back to play Hal Jordan again. But we still do need Jon Stewart to be in it as well. So let's talk about the merger stuff first. There's not a whole lot of information, but right after I did my last update, there was a lot of shuffling around with the board members. And I found an article where they talked about how so many people were going to be kept from HBO, or not HBO, but Warner Brothers, and some people would be kept by David Zaslav. And he's already chosen a lot of his members. So one thing that was for certain is, I forget the girl's name who was causing a lot of problems down there and was calling the Snyder fans toxic. She is definitely gone. She is not coming back. Now we're just waiting to hear if Toby Emmerich is going to stick around or not. People are assuming he's not, but we don't know until all the board members have been announced. But the finalization on that merger is going to happen between April 11th and April 28th. It'll be a done deal, and I think we're going to hear a lot of things very quickly once that merger does happen. All right, so there hasn't been a whole lot of movement outside of that, but there have been a lot of bells ringing for the return of the Snyderverse. They did do an event last week where you hashtagged, restore the Snyderverse, and that went over really well. I think they got somewhere between 500,000 and over close to maybe 1 million tweets by the time that thing was done. I think it was probably closer to 500,000, maybe 600,000, I don't know. But I did tweet out a couple of times, and during that, there were some interesting things. I'm going to actually include some pictures in this video of some of the things I found. First, Joe Manganiello has changed his avatar on his Twitter page to be none other than Deathstroke. Why he's doing that raised a lot of eyebrows and kind of perked people's ears up. Now, at the same time, you also have Ray Fisher, who made his backdrop on his Twitter account Zack Snyder's Justice League, the black and white picture of the whole team. So he's all in. We've got Jared Leto. I don't know if it's Leto or Leto. No, I always say Leto, but I think it's Leto. Jared came out and said, he would totally come back and play the character again. He said he put a lot into it, and he would hate to think that was the last time that character would be seen on video. So he's game for coming back as well. So where does this leave us? Well, there's a lot going on. Everyone is screaming for the Snyderverse to be restored. I think it is going to be restored, and it's all but been confirmed that Henry Cavill is going to be in the Flash movie. That is one of the reasons why it was basically held back. So I think there's a reasonable belief that he will be back, and he will be coming back full-time as Superman. I fully believe that's going to happen, and we will hear about that. If they don't announce it shortly after, the merger, then there will be more coming down the road. So let's talk about the thing I really wanted to talk about today, which is Green Lantern. All right. So, first of all, let me go back. Before I talk about Green Lantern, there are a lot of people thinking that the Snyderverse is going to be restored because there is an individual named Clay Staub on Twitter, and if you're not following him, you should. He was one of the second unit directors on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he has been posting some things, indicating that something is happening behind the scenes, but he's not allowed to talk about it. So, like I said, there's a lot of signs indicating things are going to be happening very soon. All right, so let's talk about Green Lantern. Green Lantern is very interesting. Now, I'm one of the few people that actually liked Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. The movie wasn't, amazing, but it was a decent introduction. I don't think they need to rehash the character. It would be nice to have Jon Stewart back as well. But what we have here is, it was interesting. Somebody posted on social media, and I don't have it in front of me, but somebody posted on social media last week or just a couple days ago, that it was confirmed that Ryan Reynolds was going to be back along with the individual who was going to play Green Lantern. And I hate the fact that I forget people's names. I've got to start putting this on a paper before I do this. I don't remember his name, the guy who's playing Green Lantern. I follow him on Twitter, but he's also been posting stuff saying he would like to come back. And there were some stills, production stills, that were released for Green Lantern that I just saw got released today, and I'm going to include those in the video. There are rumors going around that we should expect to see that full Green Lantern scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League very soon. Shortly after I got done with my video last week, they did release the first official still of Green Lantern, with him and, John Stewart. It was the first full production still that was released by the studio. So they let it go out, which does hint that we may possibly see that scene sooner rather than later. But there was somebody who posted on social media that Ryan Reynolds, it has been confirmed that Zack Snyder did want him back. Ryan Reynolds actually liked that post. He liked a couple of things that had to do with Green Lantern last week. Ryan Reynolds himself did. Now, a lot of people said that doesn't mean he's coming back, this or that. That was never the plan. And actually, it was the plan. I remember seeing stuff from Zack Snyder saying that if he had his choice, it would be Ryan Reynolds back along with John Stewart. And his plan was originally, I do remember seeing him talk about this, he did say his original plan was to have Hal Jordan and also John Stewart in the movie together going to see Bruce Wayne. So that was something that he wanted to happen. The studio wouldn't let it happen. So that's why he had to go with Plan B to bring in, in the movie, it was Martian Manhunter. And you could tell that scene was not filmed. They were not talking to each other. It was filmed afterwards. It was a little disjointed, and you could tell in that scene. They did the best they could to get it to mesh, but that was a last-minute thing because he didn't want to take that scene out of there. But that was originally supposed to be 2 Green Lanterns going to see him. So it's going to be interesting. Now, they didn't film the 2 Green Lanterns, obviously. I remember him saying they weren't able to get Ryan Reynolds to come back. Something with the studio, or he was busy, or something was going on. I don't remember where I saw this, but I do remember seeing, that was originally going to be a plan, but it was never filmed. It was only the guy who was playing John Stewart was filmed. But they do it, Zack Snyder did have plans. And Ryan Reynolds, I remember there was a little banter going on between Zack Snyder and Ryan Reynolds when Zack Snyder's Justice League was being put together, and they were joking about Ryan Reynolds being in the movie and some other things. There was definitely some banter going on back and forth, which would lead me to believe that he was going to be in it, that he would have come back to play the character. I would personally love to see him come back. He was not the problem with the movie. So it would be great to see him back, and I would love to see Mark Strong back as Sinestro. Holy crap, that was some amazing casting. I want to see where that was going to lead as well. It's a shame we never got a sequel to that movie because I think the sequel could have been far superior to the first film. But still a fun film, still really well done. It's not perfect, but it's definitely serviceable, and it's way better today than what I remember it being back when it came out. So that's all I've got for you guys this week. There hasn't been a whole lot going on. If something big does come up, I will definitely post more information. But I've also been dealing with getting an iPhone, and you'll see a link for that, in my suggested videos when you get done with this, because I've just been having a holy living nightmare switching over from Android to an iPhone, which has not been fun in the least. But I do have a video talking about my struggles with that, and I'm still having struggles. So it's just a holy living mess. I don't know. I almost regret getting an iPhone. But hopefully everyone tells me once you get it set up and you get it the way you want it, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, we'll see. The pain to get there is not fun. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys for this week for a DC update. If more comes out this week, I will do another video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.